How is everybody doing out there, guys? It's freaking Jack here with a little bit of wisdom, if you will. About a game that many of us have heard of, League of Legends. Now, I assume that anybody that's clicked on this video knows what League of Legends is. For those that clicked on this video and don't quite know what it is, I'm going to do a really quick brief overview. League of Legends is a MOBA. MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, and basically what that means is you choose who you want to play as. It's 2 teams of 5 who try to defeat the other person's base first. Pretty much, long story short. League of Legends is made by Riot Games. They now have, grown vastly since they first came out. League of Legends first came out in 2009 or 10, thereabouts. They came out in 2009 or 10. I've been playing since 2011 or 12. So that's season 2 or 3, I think. And I have so many things to say about League of Legends. Mostly bad, some good. And the some good comes from the past tense of what League of Legends used to be. First thing I want to talk about is the big reason, one of the biggest reasons for me, why I think you shouldn't start playing League of Legends. And that is just the sheer immense amount of things you have to learn in order to be competitive in this game, period. To be competitive in League of Legends, you have to understand not just what character you're playing, or in League of Legends you call them champions, what champion you're playing, but also the champion that your opponent is playing, and actually the champions that all of the characters in that game are. So there's 10 of you. You have to know how each of those people work and what kind of makes them tick. Sticking with that theme of just a plethora of things you have to understand, we're going to start with champions first. League of Legends has many champions. It started with, I think, like 40 to 60 or something around there. It has more than doubled if you're going by the 60 number. It's at 154. They used to come out somewhat sparingly. They now come out almost every month with a new champion, or else they have for like the last 6 months. And that brings the amount to 154 champions. Now, each champion has 3 basic abilities. They have 1 ultimate ability, and they have 1 passive ability. This isn't for every champion, though. Some champions have more than that. Some have less. Some champions have different ways of doing things, and that's fine. But keep in mind, for this number, we're just going based off of 3 basic abilities, 1 ultimate ability, and 1 passive ability. And that brings the amount of abilities you need to understand to be competitive in this game to 770 different abilities. Now, it's going to be more than that, just because of all the fact that different champions have more abilities. So you might think that's not a huge deal, that you could just kind of learn as you go along, and that might be true. But at the same time, for those of us that have played for 6+ years, in my case, like 10 or 11 almost, you learn as they come out. And so that way it's kind of like starting small, working your way up as they, are released. But now you're having to jump into 770 plus abilities that you have to understand, because if you're laning against someone, you have to understand what they're doing, what their passives are, what their abilities are, what their cooldowns are. You have to know how long it'll take for their abilities to come back, so you can jump on them and execute basically a perfect counter to their mistakes. The second thing I wanted to talk about is items. For all of us that have been here for more than 1 or 2 seasons, you understand that they actually just redid the items and took away a lot of the wonderful ones and brought in a lot of weird ones. And yeah, we're probably all getting used to them by now, but still. League of Legends now has 175 items. These all have 1 or more passive abilities, and some of them have active abilities. And active abilities basically means it's like another ability on top of the 5 or the 4 we already talked about. So not only you have to worry about the 5 that you have, or I guess the 4 active abilities, you also have to worry about the other ones in your item section. And you can have a full item bag, or whatever you call them, I don't know, of active abilities. So you could theoretically have 11? No. Yeah, 11 abilities to keep track of, which is just ridiculous. And then, I mean, for all of us that have been doing it for a while, you understand what they do, you understand how they are. But for someone new, this is daunting as all get out, and it's insane. And items are not just pick one that looks cool or sounds cool. Each item has a specific use at a specific time in a specific game under specific circumstances. So if you are an ADC versus a laner that's AP, you buy different items. If you're a bruiser going against a tank or going against someone ranged, you get different items. You have different items for everything based on your champion, your enemies, and your own personal team. And that's just insane. And then on top of those, you also have rune lists. Now, rune lists are basically things that are outside of the game that you can adjust. I guess not outside of the game, but in like the main menu screen, you do this stuff. So you basically go in there, you pick from 4 of the main sections of abilities, and in each of them is about, I think, 3, 6, 9, 12 separate abilities. And then you can pick a secondary one, which you can pick from 9 more. And then you have passive stat abilities, or, you know, kind of upgrades, I guess, where you can increase your health, your armor, your just sheer damage, your attack speed, cooldown reduction, which they call something else now. I don't even know what it is. Ability haste. How stupid is that? But whatever. The fact that you also have to learn those, and now to keep in mind, they are also completely circumstantial. They're all subjective. If you have specific champions, you have specific issues, you have specific needs, and you choose specific runes for those needs because they all do other things. So not only do you have 154 champions to choose from, you also have 770 abilities to choose from. Keep in mind, there are more. You also have 154 items to choose from. And you have, I think the number is 60 plus the 9 passive abilities, which is 69. Which means the total number, bear with me, after you do the math, between 154 champions, 770 abilities, 175 items, and 69 rune possibilities and stuff, you have a complete grand total of 1,168 things, individual unique things that you need to learn in order to be fairly competitive at League of Legends. And to put that in perspective for anybody that's in high school or in college or an adult, whatever, if you've taken an anatomy class or a biology class, if you take the total numbers of bones in the human body and muscles in the human body, it still doesn't even add up. I think it's like in the 700 range or something like that. And that just blows my mind, because if anybody's ever taken that kind of test, it sucks. But those are the big 2 things of why I think you should not start playing League of Legends, period. There's too much to learn. It's too much of a learning curve. You basically would spend the first 6 months of you playing just in sheer frustration and aggravation because you don't understand exactly what you're doing, getting the timing down and understanding what you're doing. And then after that, it's just more frustration because of the other issues I wanted to talk about, which I could talk about in a different video, which is the ranking system, which is trash, and the toxic community, which is also trash. And the thing is, I didn't used to be a toxic person in League of Legends until I played for 10 years. And now my buddy, actually, we were playing the other day, and he just kind of told me through chat, he said, you're a toxic player now. And I didn't realize it until all of a sudden. I am now a toxic League player because of, you'll understand if you've played, and if you haven't played, you will understand if you decide to ignore my warnings and play it anyway. So yeah, like I said, there are many reasons why I don't think anybody should play League of Legends. It's frustrating. It's aggravating. You waste an hour or so of your day for almost always a loss, which is alone frustrating, especially if you're playing ranked. And my biggest issue with the ranked is the only way I've been able to explain this in the simplest of words, it rewards the team and punishes the individual. If you do great, you still get punished if your team loses. But if your team does great, then you all win. But I hate that, because oftentimes, again, for anybody that's played this game, you will completely understand what I mean when you have someone who disconnects from the game, someone who AFKs because they're angry, someone who gets mad at jungle, someone who just flames and starts inting. And inting means intentionally feeding. At least I think it does. But just understand, League of Legends is not for the faint-hearted or the people who take this stuff seriously. League of Legends is the kind of game that oftentimes people take it to heart. I was one of those people at one point, where if you lose, you take it kind of personal, especially when people are talking at you. It's cyberbullying at its worst. League of Legends is incredibly cyberbullying related. You'll often see people saying kill yourself, or that's probably the worst one for me, to be honest, is, you know, stuff like that, where it promotes people self-harming because people are just so angry and hurt because they've taken it so personal. Because heaven forbid you make a mistake. Heaven forbid you miss a shot. Heaven forbid you miss an ult or fail flash. It happens. But if you have any common sense and you haven't started playing League of Legends, it's the same thing as if you don't want to start doing drugs. Don't start and you won't do it, you know? But that's pretty much all I've got. I would love to make another video on the ranking system and how I think it's trash, and also the toxic community, which I don't even know why I need to make another video on that, because I'm pretty sure we've all either heard of how bad it is or have experienced it on our own, or are one of the people that fuels it. Sometimes we're both. But yeah, if you have any shred of respect for yourself, don't hit install and download on the League of Legends app. It's not worth your time. Unless you want to go pro, then again, I mean, more power to you, but it's not worth it. Anyways, if you choose to play, good luck. Breathe. I'm going through the little things it says on the loading screen as you're about to go into a game. Take a deep breath. It works. Flaming doesn't help. Have fun. If you are so kind, I'm going to do the stupid spiel of YouTubers. You would be so kind as to drop a like. Not drop a like. I don't like when people say that. If you'd be so kind as to click the like button, it doesn't hurt you. It helps me. And if you feel like subscribing, do it. If not, I will still live my life, but I would appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And I hope that if you decide to play League of Legends today, just remember, you're not alone in getting upset. That is all.